Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, one of the rulers of Hell, or specifically Manga Hell. And today we'll be making a video on the newest chapter of Black Clover, chapter 312, Before the Door of Hell. Kind of misleading chapter title, if I'm being totally honest with everyone here. Like, you would expect a chapter that's like hell and in the world that has demons to be like, oh, one of those more, oh, things are going to go bad. But all things considered, this chapter just shows us how much ahead of the whole situation the heroes are, how much they're winning essentially. But anyways, let me prove it to you while we go through this chapter. So we start this chapter off where we last ended with the Black Bull's base punching that demon that Morse created. And in case some of you were wondering on what exactly is happening on the platforms, well, the ground beneath Dorothy Morris as well as Yami and Vanges is being currently destroyed as Morris and Dorothy are on some rocks. I'm not sure if that's the gate or if it's something else, with Lotus seemingly being either saved by being held by Dorothy or someone from the Black Bulls. It's kept very vague on who. But anyways, let's get into the dialogue finally. We start with Greg being like, "We broke an awful lot." With Ghost telling her, "Nobody cares. It's in the enemy's hideout." As Gordon starts mumbling with, "No, it was the Spit Kingdom's royal family first." Then we have Henry be like, "To begin with." As Vanessa then like, "Quit nitpicking, people. Let's save the captain already." Come on. It's fun to see these kind of interactions early here because we haven't seen them much, so it's nice to see it. Then we see Lotus as he's like, "Ha ha, some more lunatics just dropped in." Although that's helpful actually. Which, gonna be honest, it's gonna funny seeing Lotus react to this insanity because he's more chill type of guy. He's more like, "Hey, let's just sit down and have conversation." Like against Locke, he wasn't trying to battle. He's like, "Alright, let's be reasonable here. You want stuff, we want stuff. I understand why you don't like us, but come on, can't we just run and find it? I mean, it makes far more sense. We don't have to battle over it. Hell, let us play or something." But he's in this situation where there's insanity amongst characters. And well, for example, the Black Bulls are completely insane, and who knows what Morris is gonna do. But even Dolphin not being the most stable of characters. Now, while we're on Dolphin, let's go into her panel, and she's like, "Great timing, Black Bulls. So nice to see you again." And I'm not sure if Dolphin is winking here or it's her eyes beaten out. I'm guessing she's winking. And then we have either, I'm not sure this is Morris or Lucifero because Morris still has the mouth of Lucifero on his forehead, but one's like, he Dante told me about you." And then we see Morris's finger starting to emit more like this black demon power as Morris starts to saying, "There's plenty of fascinating magic here, including two arcane stages." And then in the next panel, we see this weird, flashy, kind of generic monster claws and a cat arms coming from the fingers on Morris. As Morrison says, "You'll be very satisfying to dissect. I can't wait to get started." Get ready for this dialogue, people. Get ready. There we have the Black Bulls again screaming as Vanessa's like, "Your magic similar, but you aren't a Dark Tribe member? Who are you?" Now, some people are gonna bring up Vanessa should have known who Morris is. But here's the thing about Vanessa not knowing who Morris is in this panel. Although it's also possible someone else is screaming here. Like, we see Vanessa and Ghost here, but it's not like we got a direct, direct bubble saying it's Vanessa. Vanessa, I mean, it's just like spiky all over the place. I'm just assuming it's Vanessa because that bubble is around Vanessa. But the reason why Vanessa probably doesn't know this is Morris is because, well, she only knows his name, not his appearance. Like, and let's be real here, a Diamond Kingdom scientist being here is not exactly the most like click as someone would expect. Like, we know who Morris is because we are Black Clover readers, but Vanessa is just like one name that she heard once. That's it. But anyways, Ghost, I'm guessing, response to her be like, "Who cares who he is? We are here to save our captain. He's in the way." And then we have some. I'm guessing Ghost to be like, "Move!" As we see like a bunch of those claws getting into the Black Bull's base. As Morse uses a spell called Modification Magic Operation. I on the nose there, huh? And that thing seems to like start to destroy the base. And then we have Vanessa looking at Rouge and she's like, Rouge's power isn't working? And then immediately Morris starts to explain to us, at this point, my modification magic interferes with intangible concepts as well. Alright, but I guess fate? He can interfere with fate? No, it's always kind of weird with some of these abilities. Like, alright, so okay, wait, will it still work? Because those claws aren't actually affecting the cat, they're just on the base. Or they just keep it going. It's like there's no like block or something. I mean, you know how like some characters have the ability to like go cut through everything, and even if you put a block behind that, it's like isn't it like one of those things? Or I don't know. Then we have Morris going to his monologue, well, in his inner monologue, he's like, the moment I touch you, you're finished. As we see one of those claws coming at the Black Bulls. Then we have Greg getting ready to use a spell. And then we get like a mini flashback between her and Owen. And Owen, the Owens, in case you forgot, the main healer of the Clover Kingdom, as Owen's like, the structure itself has apparently changed. Transformation magic can only change appearances. I've never seen anything like this magic. And then I was like, if I were to give it going to name it, as Gray's like, huh? He'll call it fortification magic. Yeah, in case anyone was wondering here, that is the name of Gray's magic, fortification magic. Now, there's probably gonna be a bit of a debate on, well, tiny little questioning on should it be called transmutation magic because that's what the unofficial said, and there are some complaints about official and unofficial translations. And so there's gonna be probably a little bit of a question here. Why is it fortification magic? I mean, I personally would just put reconstruction magic or something like that, but I guess right now it's fortification magic. What can you do? I mean, to be fair, even transformation magic, I would still say could be counted. It's just a very higher form. Kind of like how devil fire magic is just a higher form fire. But yeah, anyways, then we have Morris be like, magnificent! And Morris like, but can you block all of them? And then we have the Morris start to be like, I want to toy with her. Oh great, now he's gonna speak the same thing. Speak the same thing as the other villains this arc. Yep. I don't want to be too harsh on Morris, but considering what's gonna happen a little bit later with Morris in this chapter, I'm really gonna question how people are gonna react to Morris after this chapter. Namely after the official translations, because I feel like when they're unofficial translation, they still try to keep it a bit hidden. But we'll see. Anyways, then we have Gray being like, This takes a lot of focus, so I can't transform. It's humiliating. Eee! Still in character, and this is something I'm gonna mention here. This little bit comedy, as much as good to see, after all, we haven't seen these characters a long time. It is kind of ruins the mood with this battle. Like even the previous battles with the Dark Triad were not really comedic, if you know what I mean. With these like interaction, it does kind of like give comedy and kind of like destroys the mood with them. I mean, even the battle between Vonica wasn't all that comedic, and Vonica was pretty much trying to be as comedy as possible. And then we have, like, seriously, if you had to rank characters in terms of how seriously they take situations, Vonica would be at the absolute bottom of the list here. And she wasn't as comedic as it's here. Then we have Ghost telling Gray as she's blushing, and he says, "For now, just shut up and look at me." And then we have Ghost revealing his eye, well, showing his crystal eye as he uses his mirror magic, mirror brigade, magic conversion, as we see a bunch of grays popping out to like transform Morris's modification magic. Also, something I'm gonna mention the grimoires. Like, is that like kind of a power from Ghosh? The fact that he can now also make multiple grimoires. I don't know. We'll see. In my opinion, although it's also possible that this panel just includes it. Like, I feel like there are moments where a grimoire should be included, but it's not included because of I mean, do you really wanna? Do you? That's alright. You know, how many times this person gonna remember it? Plus, I'm pretty sure Ghost mostly has Asta as the one he doubles when he uses this magic, so I'm not really surprised. So it's possible that that's also the reason why we don't see Grimmos all over the place most of the times. So yeah. Anyways, then we have Morris use, Morris starting to be like kick, 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 as he starts speaking. Alright then, I was chosen by the most powerful devil. Let's see what this spell can do. Gravity magic. Presence of the Demon King. Oh, yep. It's confirmed in this chapter. Morris is indeed constructed by Lucifero. Now, there's been some debate if it's Lucifugus or is it really Lucifero because of the way it was talked about. It can be very vague. But this spell here confirms that yes, it is definitely Lucifero, the one who's using it. Unless if there are two Luciferos in the underworld and one is not. Unless there are two Luciferos, like the Time Devil and the Gravity Devil are both named Lucifer, but that would just be weird. Honestly, I mean, Luciferus himself is too similar of a name to Lucifer, so I'm pretty sure they're not like that. Although there is that theory about there being two devils that I think Unami made once, but we'll see about it. So, anyways, the Black Bull's base is getting crushed under it, but not as severely as it was against Dante, for example. I believe it was Insta. Also, by the word bubble right here, it seems to imply that Morris actually is. This is the first time Morris is actually using his gravity powers. Like he just got his Lucifero. Then we have Morris in his mind thinking it's not possible to change properties of gravity. So I guess that's another is another mindset is like, oh, you can't change a concept of gravity. Although I would wait for a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point the property of gravity would be able to be changed. After all, pretty much anything can apparently be altered by magic. I mean, hell, you yourself are currently, Morse himself is currently using modification magic to change concepts themselves. Then we have Morse be like, let's use this to dismantle them. Again, we see like the gravity on the ship is starting to like crunch it, but not destroy it. As we have Henry starting to speak, and as well as the flashback of how easily Dante destroyed the base. As Henry's like, back then, I couldn't protect anything, but now as we see a panel of Henry as a hand touches his shoulder as someone is like, "I'm here." Well, you're on my parody, they here. As we again have a little bit of flashback with the Black Bulls being like, which by this panel it kind of looks like it was after Knock left, or there is not that long since Knock left. You know, before Knock started his training with Asta, he had that little conversation between the Black Bulls. As we see now in this panel here, Gordon approaching, as someone's like, Gordon, you're back from your family's scary house. And then we have Gordon started speaking, I'm home. I'm home, so it's all right now. Come, let's go save the captain. I'm guessing this is like still in the. This is probably still after Mark left. I think he's just trying to explain what his how he's gonna be helping them. Then we have someone be like, "As always, pal, I can't tell what you're saying." And then we have Gordon be like, "After half a year of research and training, I did it. I transformed poison into medicine." Kind of feels counterintuitive if you ask me personally, but I mean, I'm a devil, so I don't exactly make poison that's meant to heal people. I just make poison that's meant to kill people even more. Don't blame me on this thing, it wasn't my fault. And I will testify this at court. Well, after I blow the court up, of course. Then we have Henry be like, at this point, my curse magic turns curses into strength. And then we get a panel with Henry's hair disintegrating as he gets like shorter hair. Also, we've already seen Henry's eyes and face before, although it was a bit of a vague picture. But here now we get a full better show of his face as with short hair, which I'm totally honest with you. I'm hoping that his hair regrows because I kind of prefer it with like that very long wavy blue hair. It just, in my opinion, he kind of would stand out a bit more because now it's kind of like very bland with like light blue hair, yellow eyes, pajamas with a Black Bulls robe. I mean, alright, granted, he says it seems to be implied that, and I'm not sure if Kanye's curse is still gonna be active, so maybe he's gonna get a completely new look. But again, I'm kind of hoping that he goes back to the long hair thing because again, I think it would look better. He would stand out better. The So, anyways, the name of the spell that Gordon is using right now is he's for some reason putting his hat down back in. And some of it has black marks that Gordon has, which I think confirms that the reason why his family looks this way is because of a curse the Majika put on them. In case it wasn't clear before. Guys seem to like move, which kind of makes, which now this Gordon's mouth kind of resembles the Joker from Batman. A weird thing, unless it's just an accident. But anyways, the name of the spell is Modified Poison. Curse Magic. Curse Worker's Neighbor. Alright? And then we have a battle where Morris is holding his hand up as he's standing on a rock, as like mana, I'm guessing, is like coming out of him. As I'm guessing the Black Bulls are now saying, now I can choose who's Henry here. Now I can choose whose magic power I'm going to absorb. Seriously, that's the power that Henry's gonna get? As if absorbing mana wasn't OP enough, now Henry is gonna be able to absorb anyone's mana as long as Golan's with him? Jesus Christ, that is a bit OP. Well, not against Asta, but you know what I mean, like, in normal circumstances, this is a very big problem. They will have Morris be like, what? What? As we see a fully powered build Black Bull's base, as we have it get ready and just slam down at Morris. Like, Jesus, a full frontal punch. Like, we already see the aftermath of it. And we have Morris like, huh? This can't be right. I acquired the ultimate power. Again, his dialogue is so much better than the Dark Triad. Then we have like a bunch of rubble. I guess that's where the Black Bull's base came out from. As we see a bunch of destruction, as we have, you know, where the moment this is coming from. As we have a bunch of dialogue between Black Bull members, like Asta, he's like, "Hey, why are you dweebs here already?" I'm guessing that's Zora here now, not Asta. I thought it was Asta because that's where it is coming to. Then we have someone be like, or is it maybe Magna supposed to be? I think it's supposed to be Magna. My apologies. Then we have someone be like, "That's so weird. Did we dwindle and not notice or something?" I'm guessing that's maybe Locke. Then we have also be like, "It's thanks to that this huge hole everybody put in the wall. Rah!" Ugh. This is also, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell this panel who says what about the dialogue. Then we have Zora be like, "Hee, we got tied up to taking out the trash." Is that supposed to be the Spade soldiers? The demons? I don't know. Then we have Noel be like, "And actually, I haven't seen you people in ages. Not that I was worried about you or anything." Noel? Then we have Finn will be like, "Well, between this and that, it looks like the gang's all here. Thanks for healing me." And Sakura's in like, "Finally, here?" But she's like, "You're welcome." And then we have Charlie be like, "For stars, everybody come eat something." And again, another character that's the reason why it's hard to feel anything for this story right now. And then we have Morris in his like beaten up form, like he's like right now. As Morris starts saying, "Throughout all sorts of experiments, I made myself into a higher being. Then I obtained the talents of the ultimate devil host." As we see someone just punching at Morris as he's saying and sending him to the wall. As Asta starts speaking, "So you're the last enemy, devil host. Mage scholar Morris of the Diamond Kingdom." There we get a panel of Morris being crushed in the wall, something like beaten, like, oh. As Asta continues with, "We don't care who or what you are. We have got just one thing to say to you. Give us back our captain!" As we get his admittedly badass panel with all of the Black Bulls standing there with a fully powered base, Asta with his demon swords, everyone staring badass, Sakura and Chami still looking badass, and everyone just looks awesome. Like even though Locke and Noel aren't powered up in their power up forms, you can tell they look badass. They all just look badass. And of course, as you probably guess, this is probably definitely supposed to like reference the scene where the Black Bulls came to save Asta and Sakura from that meeting, well, from that false trial, well, that fake trial at the Capitol. And I think this panel pretty much catches it great. Now let's get into the reason why I am not a fan of this, or why this panel fails and makes it non-fire as it logically should be here, people. Now, let's me make this clear. I'm not saying it's a bad panel. I'm not saying it's a terrible concept. Like this will make sense perfectly with for this moment to happen. Like not well, okay. All of them coming together and having this. This is perfect. My problem with that, it's kind of difficult to really feel anything for it. Like, how do I say this? This is supposed to like show the resolve, kind of like showing how badass the heroes are at the same time, like before. Like this is something you do before you have like the final battles, in my opinion. But right now, this scenario is like all the major enemies are down. All that's left is small fry that are being defeated. Like the problem with the small fry isn't even their powerful; it's the fact there are so many of them, and it's starting to like drain on the mages fighting them. And like the final boss, assuming that Lucifer doesn't do anything, is currently possibly already beaten. Like seriously, this panel with Morris in the rubble, that like ugh kind of makes him look like he's down and out. Now, granted, I can't see the future into the next chapter type of thing, but it's kind of looks like he's done and out. Like, it's honestly kind of underwhelming. It's essentially like I kind of am expecting the next chapter to begin with someone making a joke that we already done this. Seriously, we came all this out here with this epic panel and the final wall. The guy that we had to defeat to save Yami is already down. Huh? Kind of feels disappointing. I guess we're gonna go save Yami now. Like, this is kind of like the feeling I'm getting by it. Now, granted, this could change after all. It's possible Moore stands back up. Now, some people are mentioning that 100%, 100%, and that's what Morse is gonna go in the next chapter or something, which possibly it does seem like as soon as the gates of hell open, or the gates of the underworld have opened, that everyone from the Doctor got to 100% automatically. Like, I mean, alright, Dante already had 80% for a while. Xenon just got it, so, but he didn't like got a small increase. Vonica wasn't even 80%, and she didn't have an increase, and she went to 100%, even though she shouldn't. Even though at best you could say she should have gone to not even 80. Like, would she even had like powered up? Honestly, so it does seem like 100% something that you get of automatically available. Not to mention that it seems to be implied that Morse. This is like the first time Morse got his this style power rather recently, because he said he never used it, and I feel like someone like Morse would probably use gravity magic at some point. Like, I don't see if Morse like got gravity power since, let's say, right after he joined the Space Kingdom 6 months ago. He would not use it, not even once. I mean, I could always see him like using one of those aged shining generals as like a guinea pig or something. So I'm a bit weird at that. So I'm guessing, and from the power that he used, he seems to have already been like about the same level of power as Dante was when he attacked the Black base at his first percentage increase. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the chap. But yeah, this does make me kind of worried here. Also, the only reason why this doesn't feel like isn't as impactful to me as it should be, which looking at this like panel should make me really excited. Hey, fire! Is the fact this has been like happening for the last 4 or 5 fights. Like the giant demon god, like in the Clover Kingdom, Asta shows up. The fight between Nama and Lila versus Nog, Asta shows up. The fight between Dante and Magna, it starts with this type of thing showing up with Jack. The battle between Vonica and Charlotte and Real. Noel shows up in this way. How even the magical battle, Locke and Asta show up. In Unos versus Xenon, Fingal shows up. Like, this has happened so many times, it's kind of like undermined. Like, the only thing, even in the last chapter, we had this same fucking scenario with with Grace, Vanessa, Gauche, Henry, and Goldenstein. So this moment's like only difference between this moment and the last couple ones is because this time is Fire the Black Wolves all together, almost 10 chapters later. That's it. But yeah. So next chapter, I'm guessing there's gonna be like a twist. Lucifer might manifest. Maybe the fourth sibling, the Dark Triad, getting those new undying bodies. The Clifford Owls doing something. I don't know. I'm guessing this is not the ending, because this would be like a very let down ending if we're being honest to ourselves. If like this is the end of the battles. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Kind of a lot of potential, but kind of a disappointing thing result. Hoping this is just a bad chapter and this chapter will be redeemed in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, anyways, with that said, I hope you like this reaction. I hope you leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more videos in the future. Tell me in the comments below what did you think. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.